The U-Haul truck pulled up to Grandma Rose's Victorian house before the funeral flowers had even wilted. I watched from my car, still dressed in black, as my cousin Patricia directed movers like a general commanding troops. 24 hours. That's all the time she'd waited after we put Grandma in the ground before claiming what she insisted was hers. "Careful with that mirror," Patricia's voice carried across the lawn. "It's a genuine antique, worth more than you make in a year." My hands tightened on the steering wheel. That mirror, Grandma's wedding gift from Grandpa, the one she touched every morning for 60 years, reduced to its resale value. Typical Patricia. I should have confronted her then. Should have marched up those front steps and demanded answers. But grief had made me slow, heavy. And Patricia had always been faster, sharper, better at taking what she wanted while the rest of us were still processing what we'd lost. My phone buzzed. A text from my sister Lauren. "Did you know about this?" Then another from Uncle Pete. "Patricia says Rose promised her the house. When did this happen?" And from Aunt Diana. "Family meeting tomorrow. We need to sort this out." I typed back variations of "I don't know" and "let's talk tomorrow," but my mind was racing. Grandma Rose had been many things. Stubborn, funny, occasionally difficult, but she wasn't careless. She wouldn't have made promises about her house without telling someone. Without telling me. I'd been her primary caregiver for the last 3 years, ever since the diagnosis. Doctor's appointments, medication schedules, grocery runs, while Patricia showed up twice a year with expensive flowers and excuses about her demanding career in pharmaceutical sales. Now she was moving into Grandma's house like she'd been there all along. That night I couldn't sleep. Something felt wrong beyond the obvious grief and family drama. Grandma had been sharp until the end, her mind clear even as her body failed. Just last month, she grabbed my hand during one of our afternoon visits, her grip surprisingly strong. "Danny," she'd said, using my childhood nickname. "You know I had cameras installed, right? After that break-in scare." I'd laughed. "Very high-tech of you, Grandma." "I'm not some dinosaur," she'd huffed. "That nice boy from the security company set it all up. Shows me how to watch everything on my tablet. Even saves the videos to the cloud, whatever that means." The cloud. My heart started racing. If Grandma had security cameras, if they saved to the cloud. I grabbed my laptop, searching through my emails. There, from 6 months ago. Grandma had made me emergency contact for her security system account. "Just in case I forget the password," she'd said. "You know how these computer things confuse me." My hands shook as I logged in. Please let there be something. The interface was simple, designed for seniors. Multiple camera angles. Front door, back door, living room, kitchen. And yes, cloud storage going back 90 days. I scrolled to the most recent recordings, working backward from today. Patricia with the movers. The funeral guests leaving. The day Grandma died, I stopped breathing. There was Patricia, letting herself in with a key I didn't know she had. The timestamp showed 3:47 a.m., 5 hours before the hospice nurse called to tell us Grandma was gone. Patricia moved through the house methodically, not like a grieving granddaughter but like someone taking inventory. She photographed furniture, checked drawers, even lifted paintings to look for wall safes. But that wasn't the worst part. I kept scrolling back, finding more midnight visits. Patricia had been coming to the house for weeks while Grandma lay dying, while the rest of us took shifts at the hospice facility. Each time, she took something small, a piece of jewelry, a first edition book, one of Grandpa's watches, building her claim piece by piece. Then I found it. 3 weeks before Grandma's death, 2:15 p.m. Patricia visiting during the day for once, sitting beside Grandma's bed. I turned up the volume, leaning close to hear the conversation. "Just sign here, Grandma." Patricia's voice, sweet as artificial honey. "It's just updating your emergency contacts." "I can't see properly." Grandma's voice, weak but suspicious. "Where are my glasses?" "Oh, they're getting cleaned. Here, I'll guide your hand." I watched in horror as Patricia guided Grandma's hand to sign something, multiple somethings. Documents I couldn't quite make out on camera, but that looked suspiciously legal. "There," Patricia cooed. "All done. Now you rest." "Patricia!" Grandma's voice grew stronger suddenly. "What did I just sign?" "Nothing important. Just paperwork." "You're lying." "Even weak, even dying," Grandma's tone could cut glass. You think I'm stupid because I'm old? Because I'm sick. Patricia stood, her mask slipping. You're confused, Grandma. The morphine dash. I'm not on morphine yet, you vulture. Grandma struggled to sit up. Get out. Get out of my house. Now, Grandma dash. Nurse. Grandma's voice cracked with effort. Nurse. Patricia fled before anyone could respond. But Grandma wasn't done. The camera caught her reaching for her tablet, fingers fumbling but determined. She was checking the security footage, just like I was now, watching Patricia's deception in real time. Then she did something that made my heart break and soar simultaneously. She looked directly at the camera and spoke. If you're watching this, Danny, Lauren, whoever, know that I didn't sign anything willingly. Patricia Denise Williams is not to have anything of mine. Not the house, not the money, not even a teaspoon. She's been stealing from me, thinking I wouldn't notice. But I notice everything. She paused, catching her breath. Check the lawyer's office. My real will is there. And never, ever let Patricia have anything. She's a thief and a liar, and I'll haunt her from beyond if she tries to take what isn't hers. The recording continued for another minute as Grandma muttered about Patricia's parents being ashamed, about greed running in that side of the family, about how she should have seen this coming when Patricia started being nice. I saved everything, downloaded every file, backed them up to 3 different drives. Then I called the family lawyer whose number Grandma kept posted on her refrigerator. Miss Chun? Yes, I've been expecting your call, he said when I identified myself. Your grandmother updated her 6 months ago. She was quite specific about the distribution, and quite specific about certain family members being excluded. The family meeting the next day was held at Aunt Diana's house. 15 relatives crammed into her living room, the atmosphere thick with tension and confusion. Patricia sat in the center like a queen holding court, dabbing at her eyes with a tissue. I don't understand why we need all this drama, she said. Grandma made her wishes clear to me. She wanted me to have the house because I reminded her of her younger self, because I understood her in ways others didn't. Then why wasn't it in the will? Uncle Pete asked. Patricia waved dismissively. You know how Grandma was about lawyers. She probably meant to update it, but never got around to it. But I have documentation, Dash. What documentation? Lauren demanded. Patricia produced papers with a flourish. Power of attorney, healthcare directives, and a handwritten note about the house. I stood up, my laptop under my arm. Before we look at those documents, I have something everyone needs to see. Danny, please. Patricia's voice went sharp. We're all grieving. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. You're right, I agreed, connecting my laptop to Aunt Diana's TV. Let's not make this harder than it needs to be. Let's just watch what really happened. The room went silent as the security footage played. Patricia's midnight visits, her theft of small items, the forged signatures, and finally, Grandma's direct message to the camera. Never let Patricia have anything. The words hung in the air like a judgment from beyond. Patricia's face had gone from red to white to a sickly green. That's edited, she stammered. Deep-faked. You can do anything with computers these days, Dash. The security company can verify the authenticity, I said calmly. And I'm sure the police will be very interested in those forged documents you're holding. Police! Aunt Diana stood, motherly instincts replaced by fury. You robbed your dying grandmother? I didn't rob anyone! Patricia shrieked. I took what was mine. What should have been mine? I'm the one with ambition, with drive, not Danny the caregiver or Lauren the teacher. I deserve more. You got exactly what you deserved, Uncle Pete said quietly. Nothing. The truth unfolded quickly after that. Patricia had been in debt. Her pharmaceutical sales job not as lucrative as she pretended. She'd been counting on an inheritance to save her from bankruptcy. When Grandma hadn't died quickly enough, she'd gotten desperate. The forged power of attorney was laughably amateur when examined closely. The handwritten note about the house was in Patricia's writing, not Grandma's. She'd been so sure her sob story would work that she hadn't even tried very hard to cover her tracks. Grandma knew, I said, watching Patricia gather her things with shaking hands. She saw right through you. That's why she updated her 6 months ago. That's why she installed the cameras. She was protecting the rest of us from you. Patricia paused at the door, her carefully constructed image in ruins. I was her granddaughter, too. I deserve something. You got something, Lauren said coldly. You got caught. The house went to me, not because I'd asked for it, but because Grandma knew I'd take care of it. The will was specific. I was to maintain it as a gathering place for the family, a place where everyone, except Patricia, was welcome. The money was divided among the grandchildren who'd shown up, who'd cared, who'd loved her for more than her assets. Patricia contested the will, of course. But it's hard to argue your case when there's video evidence of you forging documents and stealing from the deceased. The judge dismissed her claim in record time and recommended criminal charges for fraud and elder abuse. I moved into Grandma's house last month. The Victorian needs work, new plumbing, updated electrical, a kitchen that doesn't belong in a museum. But every morning, I touch that mirror in the hallway, the one Patricia had valued only for its price tag. I see Grandma in its reflection sometimes, nodding approvingly. The security system is still active, not because I'm afraid of break-ins, but because it became part of Grandma's legacy. She protected her family even in death, using technology she'd barely understood to reveal truth and preserve justice. Last week, I found a note in Grandma's jewelry box, dated the day after Patricia's attempted forgery. Asterisk Danny, if you're reading this, then I'm gone and you've probably found the videos. Good girl. Always knew you were the smart one. Patricia thinks being family means being entitled to things. You know better. Family means showing up. It means love without price tags. Take care of the house. Fill it with laughter. And if Patricia ever shows her face at family dinner, you have my permission to use the good china to throw at her head. Love, Grandma Rose asterisk. P.S. asterisk the real jewelry is in the freezer behind the green beans. Figured Patricia would never look there. She hasn't eaten a vegetable in 30 years, asterisk. I laughed until I cried, then cried until I laughed again. The jewelry was there, of course, wrapped in freezer bags and labeled Lima beans in Grandma's spidery handwriting. Patricia was right about one thing. Grandma had made her wishes clear. Just not in the way anyone expected. She'd known that sometimes protecting your family means revealing the ugly truth about one of its members. That sometimes love looks like security cameras and secret notes and the word, no, spoken from beyond the grave. The family still gathers at the Victorian every Sunday. We cook Grandma's recipes, tell her stories, and toast her memory with the good wine she hid in the basement. Patricia's name is never mentioned, her absence a reminder that family isn't just about blood, it's about behavior. And somewhere, I like to think Grandma Rose is watching, satisfied that her house is exactly where it belongs, with a family who loved her for who she was, not what she owned.